Hey guys, this is Tauna. Today we are going to be talking about Havi, the All-Father, a new Naya legendary. Now, if you don't know me, I absolutely love Naya. They are my favorite colors. I don't know, something about it just speaks to me in a way that I just like throwing things at people's faces. And Havi is a great card to be able to enable that. I am incredibly excited for this card. So this is a new one with Assassin's Creed. And before I, get into it, I got a couple things. First of all, just don't go buying a whole bunch of Assassin's Creed stuff. It is such an expensive set that I just don't think it's worth it. You're getting less cards in each booster. You're paying more for each booster. It's like taking the worst aspects, in my opinion, of March of the Machine Aftermath and kind of made them worse. Second thing is make sure you do subscribe. Make sure you let me know as well if you guys like these kinds of videos, because I don't really do deck videos all that much, but if you guys are interested, I would love to, so let me know. So Havi essentially is a very interesting Naya commander kind of built around resurrecting your cards, right? So he has indestructible as long as there's 4 or more historic cards in your graveyard, as well as when him or any other legendary creature you control dies, return a target legendary creature card with less mana value from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. You got that? So you get to essentially resurrect things from your graveyard every time one of your legendaries dies. Now, as soon as I saw this, I kind of thought of one thing, which was pod decks, right? Pod decks are kind of built around sacking your creatures and then upgrading them. However, let's say we've got a 2 mana creature and we sack that to get a 3 mana one out, right? Typical kind of pod behavior. Then you sack that 3/1. Now you're going to be able to resurrect that 2/1. So you can kind of create these chains of just being able to bring back all of your legendary creatures. So as you can tell, this is kind of legendary tribal, as well as built around pods and, bringing cards back, as well as some really nice kind of tutoring stuff because of the fact that we've got, the pod mechanic. We get to tutor things out with pods and stuff. So Havi is built around, him resurrecting the things, but not just that, kind of most of the values just slowly kind of upgrading all of our creatures. So as for the artifacts, we got typical artifacts in here, Arcane Signet. I've added in an Ash Nod so that way I can sack things if I want to be able to get mana. Specifically, we've got a bunch of different kind of some creatures that clone, because when you've got a copy of something and that dies, it had the mana value of the original creature, therefore you get to resurrect something, because not non-token. Havi is not non-token creatures. But we can also, given the fact that most of them we have to sack anyway, we can sack them with Ash Nods to get an extra 2 mana. Birthing Pod, this is kind of one of the cards that kind of, it revolves around sacking creatures, finding something else, bringing that in. For relatively cheap. We've got Evolving Door, very similar as Birthing Pod, essentially the same, except this one's built around the colors. So you look at the colors of something. So when you search your library for a creature card that's exactly that many colors plus 1, exile it, then shuffle, and then you can cast that. So we get to kind of use this to tutor things up and then cast them. And then from there, thanks to Havi, we can resurrect them. Mana Rocks, we've got some Legendary Matters things. So both the Heroes Podium here, Relic of Legends, that kind of stuff. I would have added in, Flowering of the First Tree or whatever it is, but I didn't want to go too expensive. As it is, this deck's relatively expensive, 120 US currently, but that's, the mana base alone is a little bit expensive here. We've got Soul Ring. Monster Manual here allows us to be able to cheat things out. And then, from there, you can sack them or whatever. The creatures here, I should probably sort this by mana value to make it a bit easier. So the creatures in here, that's just gone away. No, so that's group by mana value, group by type, sort by mana value. Here we go. So in the creatures, we've got a few kind of 2 cost ones here that are either, you know, a mana dork here. We've got a couple here that we can sack. So we've got Hajar here and Safi that we can sack to be able to give things indestructible or return things. And then because of the fact that you need to sack them, and then, you know, if you sack something that's 3 costs, then we can bring those back in. We've got Arbaz Mir here as well, another Assassin's Creed card that is going to be able to ping people as well as heal us. Some copy ones, so we've got like Feldon, I've got Kiki Jiki in here to be able to copy things. We've got Jaxus as well to be able to copy things there. Eama to give us extra combat when attacking legendary creatures die. We can get extra combats there. Eowyn allows us to get protection from things. Aurelia, some card draw and stuff. Just some really nice kind of Naya creatures here that are kind of mostly built around our kind of battle plan of big attacking creatures that are throwing themselves at the enemy. Some that kind of gives us double strike here with Bayak. Oja is going to allow us to be able to cheat something out. You get, when he deals combat damage, we get to find a creature card or land card, put them onto the battlefield directly. And then Golta is here because Golta is a big thing that we can sack to essentially be able to birthing pot anything, as well as, you know, just being a really kind of great creature. The sacking of it's more like, say, for example, if we've got Kiki Jiki out, Kiki Jiki taps, makes a clone of Golta, Golta dies. From there, we get to resurrect essentially anything, or we can just, you know, copy the sack the Golta clone with birthing pot and be able to find any creature we like. The enchantments are built around our same kind of game plan of going hard and attacking. So, you know, Bard class, buffing things up. Garrix giving us card draw as well as trample. Rhythm of the Wild, we've got a whole lot of haste in there. And then we've got stuff like the Hunger Tide Rises. With that, we can sack all our creatures, go find things, and then be able to kind of bring something out and then resurrect stuff from there. Birthing Ritual, similar to Birthing Pod, except you don't need to sack something. You're just looking at the top 7. If you like something, then you can sack something. Huntmaster's Redemption buffs up our creatures, as well as we can sack something and find something to tutor it to hand. And then we've got the Annie's Joins Up here, doubling all those triggers. Annie's Joins Up is one of my favorite cards ever because of the fact that I am a Naya... I was going to say a word that I probably shouldn't say. I absolutely love Naya, and Annie's Joins Up is perfect for all my decks. And then Warstorm Surge here to be able to like slowly burn creatures away or clear things out as we bring in these huge legendary creatures with giant, you know, mana values and stuff. The instants are mostly around protecting us, some spot removal here, as well as Smuggler's Surprise, allowing us to mill things and then be able to be able to spend what? We spend 6 to be able to find 2 creatures from our hand and put them onto the battlefield. Boom. As well as protect us as well. Land base is a little bit expensive, as I said. You know, not too much. I mostly tried to go with the cheapest versions of cards, but I wanted a decent kind of land base because, you know, a lot of decks you kind of cheap out on the land base a little bit, but most of it's, you know, untapped lands and stuff, mostly untapped lands. The kind of interesting ones that I wanted to talk about here are Laztep Quarry here, allows us to be able to sack something and get a mana. Sack a creature, get a mana. Is a little bit, you know, expensive at the moment because it's been out for a little bit. Sorry, it hasn't been out for long and it's only within the commander decks, but sack something, get a mana, and then you can bring it back anyway. And then this here, you can also sack a desert to create a to exile something from our graveyard and create a copy of it too. So if we've got a creature in our graveyard that we can't bring back, we've got that option there too. Planeswalkers, Vivian, Monsters Advocate allows us to be able to, you know, tutor something out. So when you cast your next creature spell this turn, we get to search our library for one with lesser mana value and then bring that out, as well as play creatures off the top of our deck. And then Vivian the Hunt is just essentially a birthing pod on a on a Planeswalker. The sorceries are, more pod stuff, some board wipes. So we've got 2 board wipes, a resurrection with Savine to be able to bring back our 2 mana things, and then Ascent from Avernus is a big finisher, right? Return all creatures and planewalkers with mana value X or less from the graveyard to the battlefield. So if we have, I think 6 is our maximum besides Golta here. Oh no, 7's our maximum besides Golta here. We're in green. We're going to have a whole bunch of stuff out. We're going to be able to here ascend, bring out all of our creatures that we've just sacked, and then boom, essentially that's our finisher there. Urza's Ruinous Blast is honestly a perfect card in this deck to be able to get rid of all non-legendary permanents. We've got all legendaries. Austere here, destroy all creatures with mana value 3 or less, and then boom, you get to bring stuff back anyway with Havi. So, we're not immune to board wipes, but with our, this board wipe here, we get to bring stuff back anyway. It's actually really great. Also, Squee. We can sack Squee and then we can cast him again as well. So that's basically it. I am incredibly excited to see what you guys think of this deck. If you think I missed something or what, I'll put the deck link down in the description and the comments so that way you can check it out. I hope you guys had a wonderful day and goodbye.